I hope you're having a lovely day today. I am taking you along with me for some of the peaceful homemaking moments of August. Some of those things include herb making and working in the garden and making some fun summertime drinks, because where I am, it is still warm out and I will embrace the warm weather for as long as possible. I am not in any rush for winter, although I do love fall. So speaking of fall, I am trying to get together some things for a fall garden, mainly carrots. We built a little raised bed to put some carrots in, and since you can leave carrots in their bed through the winter, I figure that that's probably one of the best things that I can grow right now. So that is my goal. I do have some cabbage that I've planted and some calendula just to see if I get any blooms from it. And then I did plant a whole bunch of sunflowers as well. I wanted to show you what this sorghum looked like. So our sorghum has done really well this year and the pollen is just amazing. So I'm really excited for these to dry out once the sorghum seeds have formed. But I was really pleased with these because this was just kind of a spontaneous garden planting and they turned out really beautiful. And now I want to share with you this fun watermelon drink. So I put some watermelon in my Vitamix and added some coconut water. I did not measure any of the ingredients. I kind of just toss it all together. But this is a really good midday drink to give energy, especially after being outside for a long time. So I went and picked some peppermint from my little planter to add into it and get those juices flowing, wadded up a little bit to release the peppermint oil. And then I'll also add some cream of tartar for some extra minerals. And then I did add some salt as well. And then just pour in the watermelon coconut water, and it is a very refreshing afternoon drink. And now we are starting a new day, a new morning by the stream. We've been trying to make a habit of getting over across our land and spending some time by the water. As I've mentioned many times, that running water gives off negative ions, which is really healing for the body. So I'm trying to be very intentional with making sure I go and walk our land as often as I can. And it's also just so peaceful, especially in the mornings with the birds chirping and all of the wildflowers that are in bloom. So I also am constantly picking the wildflowers so I can dry them, and it's really fun to see all the different blooms that have been throughout the season, and a lot of them I still have not identified yet, so I could continue doing some research on that. And since I'm cleaning up the kitchen after coming inside, I still have my huge pot of water from canning tomatoes yesterday. So I'm going to dump those into my sunflower bed. I don't know if these will actually grow before we get a frost. They're about 6 inches tall now, but I figured I might as well. I have so many sunflower seeds, I would try growing some more this season. And once again, I am picking some of the wildflowers that are coming up in our garden. And I'm going to try pressing these and see how they look. I think the pink ones will turn out really, really pretty. But it's been a fun thing for me to do this year, and I have some ideas of some wall decoration and some journal making that I want to do with the pressed flowers. And I have an abundance of large books, so it makes it really easy just to press the flowers, and it's also very peaceful and relaxing. I try to make sure that I do something creative every day just to keep creative juices flowing, and I think part of that also comes from giving space for silence, where I don't have any podcast playing or music playing, but I'm just out in nature or even just in the house listening and thinking and praying and talking to God. I think having moments of silence has been really important to me this summer. Our pastor recently said it's a blessing that we have a lot of access to information and content, but it also, if you are just consuming content all the time, that's not always a good thing either. So making sure you're mindful of also leaving space for quiet and thinking time has been really important for me. And now on to making some hot sauce. I will link this recipe below. This is my third time making it this summer from the hot peppers from our garden, and we love this stuff. It is so good. I accidentally left one of my peppers on the plant for too long and it turned red, so this was an especially hot sauce, but it still tastes really good and it is super easy and quick. So we love this stuff. Also, I have to point out this little spatula for the Vitamix. If you have a Vitamix and you do not have one of these spatulas, I highly recommend it. I got this for free from the Vitamix store because they were getting rid of their rewards thing, and so I had rewards points, so I was able to get that. But I also know that World Market also has the exact one and a gray one if you prefer the gray, but it makes cleaning out the Vitamix very easy. And now I am on to making some vanilla. I am way overdue on making vanilla, so I use organic vodka when I make vanilla, and then I add my vanilla beans, and there are many recipes out there for making your own homemade vanilla. And what I do is I do 3 beans per 8 ounces of vodka. And I like that ratio. I think it works really well. And I let it sit for 3 months, shaking it as often as I think to before using it. That way it is nice and soaked and has the best flavor. So it's very easy to make. If you've never made your own homemade vanilla, it is so much cheaper to make it yourself, even with the best of ingredients. Most bottle shops will carry the Prairie organic vodka, and it's around either $18 to $20 a bottle. And I marked it for when it will be ready to use. And now I have these vanilla beans that I had forgotten about. It was with my apothecary stuff. You can see that they are very, very hard. And so I am using these to make jojoba vanilla oil. So I'm putting those vanilla beans in a jar. If you recognize these jars, these are the jars that the Azure coconut water came in, and I love them. So I put those in the jar, and then I'm topping it off with my organic jojoba oil, and I get this from iHerb. It is the best price that I've seen, and it's actually a better deal to get the 4-ounce bottles. It ends up being cheaper to get the smaller bottles. And so I just went ahead and poured that over there. And whenever making oils, I usually follow the Simplers method, which is I put my herbs in a jar and then I just make sure it is covered with at least an inch of whatever oil that I'm using. So it's an easy way that you can make oils out of anything. Right now I am making some calendula jojoba oil, and this I will use as my facial cleanser. So the first petals that were in the bowl were from the garden this season. They are already dried out petals, and now I'm adding some of the calendula petals from last season. And then once again, just topping it up with my jojoba oil. And for this one, I'm going to use both of the bottles because I love this stuff for my face. So just sealing that with the parchment paper, since it does have a cork and I don't really want air to get to it. And then once again, labeling what it is and the date that I made it. And this will be ready in about a month or so. It will probably be a month for me because I'm almost out of mine that I'm using right now. Last but not least, I am finishing this day with wrapping my trash can. So I got this thing at an auction maybe 2 years ago, and I wanted it because I wanted a trash can that was pretty. At the time, we just had a plastic one, so I got this one. It's actually, you can probably tell, it's actually a hamper, but the more we've used it, it has come apart. The lid, the wood wicker stems have started to come apart, so I wanted to take some of the jute that I have and just wrap it and that way it would stay together and last a very long time. So this is the final product and how it turned out. I'm very pleased, and now I feel like it's going to last us a while. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have any herbs that are outside, this is the time of year to go and pick them and let them dry, and then you can start making oils and salves and give them away as Christmas gifts. So that's something to start thinking about. Even the vanilla, if you make the vanilla now, they'll be infused and ready to give for Christmas, and they can use them right when you give it to them. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I bless you, and I bless the rest of your day.